Um, I call it fantastic tacos. I think that's the best way to put it. If you're watching us, if you're on social media, use the hashtag Unicorn Chef. All mediums, we don't matter. We interact with everybody. We're good fans. And I have to say something. Last week, a good friend of mine passed away. We knew him on Twitter as Laszlo_D_plumber. He was the other part of attrition.org. His other nickname was Liger. A lot of people knew him by that. But we knew him by Kelly. And passed very suddenly. He watched the show very frequently, had a lot of opinions on what we needed to cook. He's missed very, very dearly. So rest easy, brother. I love you. So with that, Craig, how you doing?
Good. All right. So I'm Craig. I don't remember what I was going to say. So we're doing flank steak tacos and a orange cucumber salad. And I'm going to start off with a margarita because, that's always nice and helpful to get the ball rolling. I don't know.
There's anything that says get naked, it's tequila.
Yeah. So I'll do, I guess, one quick shout out, and that's to anybody who may or may not be watching from SecDSM. So if you're in like the Iowa area, SecDSM is a meetup, City Sec meetup. We meet once a month at a distillery. It's a great time. I encourage anybody to swing by anytime. Otherwise, the nonprofit that I officially wanted to feature was kind of the Animal Rescue League of Iowa. They are our local animal control, but also animal rescue. So they do rehabilitation, adoptions, all that fun stuff. And as you can see, I've got dogs. I love dogs. So ARL of Iowa is their Twitter, if I remember correctly. And you can just follow them, ARL of Iowa. But yeah. So
you're from Iowa.
From Iowa, yes.
Sorry. Are you a Slipknot fan?
I mean, I've got a CD.
Fair.
CD.
So you're not an official maggot, but you're an unofficial maggot?
No, but I don't know. Did you hear about their concert they did south of Des Moines last year?
No.
It was bad. So it was, they had like one beer vendor and like nothing else to drink. So you had like all these people on this, like thousands and thousands of people and nothing to drink. And it was really hot and it was sunny and there was no shade. And people weren't very happy. But
what do you walk us through your drink, my friend? Let's see this.
All right. So we're doing it's essentially a twist on a classic margarita.
Cool.
So it's got three main ingredients. You've got your tequila, obviously.
It's a big bottle of tequila.
So you buy the Costco in bulk.
Yep.
And then I prefer to use Cointreau instead of triple sec.
Okay.
Lime juice, fresh squeeze is nicer, but this is easier, and I'm lazy sometimes.
Lazy son of a bitch, really. You told me to get a lime. You purposely left the lime out?
What's that?
You purposely left a lime off your recipe, and you don't even have a lime?
No, I did not leave. So, yeah, so that goes to half the taco needs half a lime, and the salad needs half a lime.
Okay.
And so then because it would have been in both ingredients lists, it got into no ingredient list.
Fair enough. All right.
But yeah, and then jalapeno. So this is really simple. So shaker with some ice. Can you see this, or do I need to turn my camera?
Actually, if you wouldn't mind turning your camera just a little bit. Love it.
All right. So
it's beautiful.
It's going to be 1.5 ounces of tequila.
Okay. So 4 ounces of tequila.
So we bought a hot tub this year.
Mm.
It's amazing. But we did actually buy like a really big shaker that's insulated so that I can take cocktails out to the hot tub and not have to get out to make new ones.
A smart idea.
All right. And then 0.75 ounces of Cointreau.
A good orange liqueur?
Yeah, I mean, Cointreau's, I mean, if you want to use something equivalent that's cheaper, I know Cointreau's a little pricey, but
you get to say with an accent.
That's what most people kind of use. But And then the same amount of lime juice, so 3/4 of an ounce.
Cool. And are you actually measuring, or are you just eyeballing?
Well, for the 3/4 ounce, I just try to guess on the 1 ounce.
Cool.
I didn't put enough tequila in there.
There's never enough tequila, my friend. Never.
And then slice. What I like to do is, so this is really simple. Like, you really just slice the jalapeno.
Cool.
And I do it kind of thinly. And it's essentially however much you want. Like 2 or 3 slices is pretty good.
Okay.
I'm fine with the seeds, so I just throw the seeds in there too. And if you want it not quite as spicy, you can take the seeds out. If you really want to make sure you get good flavor, this is optional. But you can kind of muddle that a little bit, kind of release some of those oils. But to be honest, it's not really even necessary. I find that just floating a few of these in there actually works really, really well. What's that?
No, I'm dancing. Keep going.
Okay. All right. Then you can serve this up. You can serve it on the rocks. I usually strain it into a glass like this.
You actually put it into a glass? You don't just drink it right from the shaker?
I mean, like I said, sometimes in the hot tub, In fact, the one I got for the hot tub actually has 2 tops. They got a traditional shaker top, but then it's also got like this style of where you can just drink out of it like it's a coffee cup or something. But cheers.
To you and your health, my friend.
Very good. Vitamin C is good for you.
I got a little bougie today, so I bought a bag of wine. I usually do boxes, but
yeah,
sometimes, especially with Spanish food, you have to have a bag of wine.
Isn't boxed wine just a box around a bag of wine?
Yeah. I call it suckling on the bladder.
All right. So let's keep this moving here, right? Let's see.
What do you got?
All right. So first thing we're gonna make, just because it's easier and you need like the lime zest for it, we're gonna make the sauce that's gonna go on the tacos eventually.
Okay.
So you're gonna want just like a little bowl or something. Excuse me. And about a 1/2 cup or so of sour cream should be fine. I guess I should also say, so the recipe that I'm doing here, like the proportions I've got is like basically like a 2-person meal.
Okay.
So like if you eat a lot or you want leftovers, maybe do a little more, maybe a little less. I don't know.
Is salad something that you generally have with most meals, like a veggie up front?
What's that?
Said, is salad something that you generally have like with a meal?
We try really hard to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're like super fit and hot, so I assume you eat a lot of vegetables.
I tell you what, I have not exercised essentially since the pandemic started.
Fair enough. Can relate.
In fact, I actually just got a Fitbit. It just arrived today.
Nice. So now you're going to get judged by a piece of tech on your hand. It's like, get up and move, fatty.
Well, so we're doing a birthday party in end of July. And I'm like, if people are going to be over and probably in my hot tub, like I need to work on, flatten this down a little bit. But
totally.
Where's my... All right, so I got about 1/2 cup here.
Okay.
Throw that in the bowl. And I did not get my zester out. We're going to zest the lime into that.
So zesters are hilarious because I think most drywall folks just call them, not raids, but rasps.
I don't know where my zester is, so we're going to use whatever this thing is instead. It's like, it's kind of like a grater. Where's my camera?
There you go.
This should work.
Sometimes you have to MacGyver the kitchen, buddy.
Yeah. This is also really handy if like you need garlic paste and you don't have garlic paste. I just bought some this time. I suppose I should also say like fresh ingredients, you should always wash them. I already washed these.
Fair.
Hopefully nobody needs to hear that, but you never know.
I think the pandemic taught us that most people aren't really familiar with how to wash their hands.
Well, more or less, I'm gonna do the whole lime because I really like the lime flavor.
Sweet. Well, you have that liquid lime anyways.
Alright, so that's pretty much the lime there. Alright, and next step.
So right now you got a half cup of sour cream, a whole bunch of lime.
Lime zest. Yeah.
Lime zest. Thank you.
So now we're gonna have our. I guess you can still see me all right. So we're gonna have our lime, and the juice of this lime is gonna go right into that.
Cool.
So it's gonna be really, really limey.
So the interesting part that I think about creams and limes is that if you're not nimble and you don't get it acclimated quickly, it can kind of break up.
Yeah.
So it looks like you got a bowl full of white boogers.
Yeah.
It's kind of appetizing. Depends what you're into. I'm not judging no one.
Yeah. So we're gonna mix this up good. For that reason, that's pretty good. And then this just gonna go in the fridge until we're ready for it. Alright, so that's out of the way. Excuse me. Alright, so next thing, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start the salad. I'm gonna start that now because the cucumbers, we're gonna want them to marinate a little bit.
Fair. So when you cut your cucumbers, do you cut them with like a food peeler, or are you going to be knifing them?
I'm going to knife them. So we're just going to cut them like this into thin slices.
Okay, cool. So rounds. I like it.
Yeah. Dunks, what are you doing? So this is really weird. So normally, as soon as they hear the cutting board, they come running because they know they get pieces of it.
Oh, who's trained now when they don't come running?
All right, so now you'll see both of them. Come here.
Oh, perfect.
You're not in the camera. Come here. There you go. Yeah, they're actually trained. So we usually, when we chop vegetables, they get any like ends or scraps or things.
Definitely.
So they usually come running as soon as they hear the knife hit the cutting board.
I usually go running when I hear a knife too. Oh, I'm heating up my skillet if that's okay.
What's that?
I'm heating up my skillet. Is that okay?
Oh yeah, that's cool. So the hardest part about this, in my opinion, is these damn cucumber rounds always want to roll off onto the floor, which is also partially why the dogs are in here.
Sure. See, it's nice it's nice that you're not just quick firing it. Most people wouldn't even care. They'd just be like, pop, 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 pop.
So the biggest reason I'm not is because I'm only doing one cucumber. If I lose too much of it to the dogs, then I'll have to do another one, which I've got more. But
they did look starving, man. We can't have them underfed.
They eat all the time. Right. In fact, they pretty much know, so they recognize when I'm on like a Zoom call.
Sure.
And when it's over, because you say goodbye to everybody, and then that's usually when they think that they need a snack or something. Alright, so I'm gonna throw these in the bowl that we're eventually gonna serve it out of.
Okay.
All right, now we're going to add some garlic paste, just a little bit, about a teaspoon or so. You already have that out, probably. So this is actually, technically it's a puree. I just buy it at the grocery store, it's easier.
Make it nice and spicy too. Nice little tongue feel.
So about 1 teaspoon or so.
Cool. For those judging me right now that I'm not making the salad, there's a reason for it.
Too healthy?
It's way too healthy. I mean, what do you think? I'm going to go run a marathon after this? You're insane. No, there were just some things that I couldn't get at my local store. And today's one of those days where you just ran out of time.
Uh-huh. Yep, I get it.
Yeah, I'm just struggling to get anything done today. Goodness gracious.
So we've got a Price Chopper. I don't know if you're familiar with Price Chopper. We got one of those that we normally go to, but there's some things that they don't have. Like the cheese that I really wanted to use, they never have that. So we always have to go somewhere else for that cheese.
Yeah.
But they have no poblanos. And then the other store, which should have had poblanos, had no poblanos. So I went to another store, which had no poblanos. And finally, the fourth grocery store I went to, I found poblanos.
It's crazy.
And then, you go up there after driving all around town and you spend your 96 cents.
You spend these days, $20 in gas, for goodness sakes, getting around.
All right, so I put the other half of the lime into here.
Okay.
We're going to do just like a drizzle of olive oil. That's a big drizzle, but that's fine. Olive oil's good. And then maybe just some like salt and pepper to taste.
Okay. So what I think is really interesting is that you're not actually putting in anything else in here for seasoning except for salt, pepper, garlic. I think that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think it's wonderful. Such a classic taste.
All right, just a little bit of salt. You don't need a lot. And just kind of stir that up. And then we're going to let this marinate. Stir it. Come back, stir it every once in a while. But we're just going to let that sit.
You're kind of relying on that to get into the cucumbers.
What?
You're relying on that marinade to get into the cucumbers and make it all tasty.
Yes. Yep.
Sweet.
Exactly. Awesome. All right. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to peel the orange. So this is going to go into the same bowl, but not right away. We're going to do that right before we actually serve it.
Are you going to be using the juice of it, or are you going to be using the actual orange?
No, so we need to peel it. Okay. And then we're going to cut it in half. And then we're going to slice it. So it'll be thin slices of orange mixed in with the salad.
Very fun. I think you've actually broken the record for the fanciest salad ever on Unicorn Show.
You think so?
Congratulations, my friend.
Well, thank you. The next person will have to top me.
I think a just salad episode would be awesome.
My wife salads are really amazing. I had one the other day. We went out to work because one of my coworkers was leaving. He moved to a different company.
Cool.
And I had this Parmesan steak salad. And man, that thing was like amazing. I'll have to try and recreate that someday.
That just sounds delicious.
Oh, it was so creamy, and the steak was like cooked perfectly.
My wife and I often we'll make just some fresh sausages, just grill them or cook them, whatever. Cut them into a salad with red onion and feta, maybe a little a dressing concoction. It's phenomenal. Somebody asked me a question they're like, who do you want to do a unicorn chef with? And I'm like, I just want to do a unicorn with people that make good food that's easy, because it's so much thought.
So one of the hardest parts of this salad is peeling this damn orange. Like they either peel no problem or don't peel at all.
It's like a boiled egg. It's going to take 2 seconds or 20 minutes, one or the other.
Like sometimes I just slice off the outside. It's actually easier. That's what I should have done. Every kitchen needs a nice sharp knife.
Are you a knife fan?
What's that?
Are you a fan of a knife?
One big sharp one, yes.
So you're not like a brand kind of knife person where you only have Henkel in your kitchen and you hand hone and.
So we do actually have this one. I was saving this one for when we do the steak. It's technically a sushi knife.
Pretty.
It's really, really sharp.
Hmm.
All right. So anyway, so we're gonna cut this in half. So I did it like from the top down. So
Great.
you can kind of see that. And then now we're gonna slice it this way.
Oh, perfect.
This way. Wherever my camera is.
Actually, we can see it pretty well.
I'm gonna switch to the fancy knife for this. So I don't know if you've ever made your own sushi or not, but not unlike this peeled orange, you want to do it in like one smooth slice, because otherwise you like smush it and falls apart and stuff.
Yeah, I don't want that. Yeah, there's something to be said about a good, strong, sharp kitchen knife. Safe as hell. It's a tool.
Alright, so that's sliced. We're just going to set that aside until we're ready for it. Kind of making a bit of a mess already. That's fine. Alright. So that's it for that salad until we get ready to actually mix it together and eat it.
Can you do me a favor and just show the inside of the bowl to the camera?
Yeah. The cucumber one?
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Here's my drink.
Is it spicy?
So good. All right, where am I at here? Oh yeah, I might as well do this too. So we're gonna put some mint leaves in that salad eventually. So I'm just gonna real fast do that too, and I'll throw that in the bowl with the oranges just until we're ready.
So, do you grow your mint?
We actually have some. I don't know if you can see them actually in the backyard, not with the way the camera's turned out, but we do have some. But it's not ready yet. We all of our mint plants died because we did a whole bunch of backyard renovations during the pandemic.
Oh, no fun.
So we don't have any planters and stuff anymore. And we just bought some new plants.
Mint is a wonderfully easy growing herb.
Oh, isn't it great?
Mm-hmm. If you can't grow mint and basil, there's something wrong with you.
We got a few for outside, but then I also got another one that I'm going to keep inside.
Fair.
All right, so I'm just going to try to do, I don't know, like about a tablespoon or so once it's all chopped up. We're just adding some nice fresh flavor to it is all we're going to be trying to do.
Love it. Love it.
So we're just going to like kind of large chop this.
Family chop? See, now the dogs come running.
Yep. It's that cutting board. As soon as the knife hits it. Alright, so that's probably more than a tablespoon, but whatever, that's fine. There, you want to see that one too?
Oh, pretty. Love it.
Okay. Alright, so the next thing we're going to start doing is this is going to be the sauce that we're going to eventually cook our onions and our peppers in, which is going to go on the taco with the steak.
Love it.
So you need a small mixing bowl, and then the first thing we're going to do is we're going to, I just do this because I can't find chipotle paste, but like if you had chipotle paste, you could do that instead. But essentially this is just a can of chipotle peppers and adobo sauce.
Love
And
it.
we're just going to pull out one good sized one, and then we're going to chop it up. And I don't know about you, but I think adobo sauce adds some really good flavor.
I love adobo. A lot of folks are like, well, I prefer red sauces, or adobo is delicious.
Nice big one. I'm going to do a couple small ones because I don't see a real good big one right away. But we're going to be looking for about a tablespoon or so.
Okay. And I I will say adobo, like we're using one. That can of adobo on like sandwiches, for gosh sakes. Adobo and everything is delicious. Even if you have like a bowl of noodles, a little bit of butter, a little bit of salt, adobo, change your life, dude.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot.
No. It's super versatile.
I usually end up only pulling out a couple, and the whole rest of the can gets wasted.
Fair. So I actually put mine together earlier.
Okay. Nice. Yeah.
It's quite nice. Quite very smoky, which I love.
Yeah. Yeah, adobo really does add that nice smoky flavor.
And I will say you cannot hurt it with lime. A lot of things lime can overpower. Adobo stands up to so much.
Alright, so the rest of this sauce is going to have about a tablespoon or so of brown sugar.
You know you look so good.
Talking to you, I mean.
Fair.
And then half a cup of water.
Yep. I actually did a half cup of bone broth rather than water.
Of what?
Chicken bone broth.
Oh. That's a good idea.
I will say it makes it appear thicker than it should, but I'm hopeful that it's going to be nice.
Yeah, I'm sure it will still be fine.
I more so needed to get rid of some bone broth. Then when I make rice, like I made a rice tonight. So I took the same type of seasonings that we're going to put on the beef. Added that to the water, to the bone broth rather than water and rice.
Yeah. Nice.
Should be good.
All right, so you can kind of give that a little stir. I guess I will, since you already stirred yours, probably.
Well, I've been constantly stirring it. It's literally been sitting like down here the entire time. So you often see me look down. I'm like, it's really good.
All right, then that just gets set aside.
Okay. Oh, yeah, because we're going to cook the steak first, then we're going to cook vegetables in the same time, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Now, so I don't know if anybody else does this, but I've always found that you get a better, more even cook if you kind of let your steak rest a bit. So
Room temperature. Yep.
Hasn't been out as long as it probably normally would be for me, but usually about room temperature or so before I start cooking is what I kind of go for.
That's why I tweeted it about an hour ago. Make sure your ketchup is at room temperature.
Yeah. All right, so the rub part, that's the part that I really kind of just eyeball.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing, to be truthful.
So inside of this, we're going to put, what did I say? So ancho chili powder, which is going to add some really nice flavor.
Definitely, yeah.
And smoked paprika. I like the hot, so I've got hot smoked paprika.
Amen.
Garlic powder, we use a lot of it, so I got a big container. Same with cumin.
I should say garlic powder, not garlic salt.
Yes, not garlic salt. Oregano, and then we will put a little bit of salt and pepper in there too.
Sure. Yeah. So I did basically the same thing. I did chili powder, oregano. I actually did seasoning salt rather than regular salt, rather than table salt.
Okay.
A little bit of oregano, paprika, and red pepper.
Nice.
My wife is highly susceptible to heat. That's why she married me.
Man, you know what? When I was a kid, I could eat spicy stuff all day.
Yeah, man.
Now, like the next day, I just died. About like 2 or 3 in the morning, you wake up and you're like, "Oh shit!" Literally.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like I don't know. I imagine I'm older than you. I'm 23.
You're 23?
No, 47. 47. Now when I eat hot stuff, my body tells me that I have to go to the bathroom when I don't. Plays tricks on me.
So my significant other always says that I turned 40, and I always have to tell him I'm not 40 yet. Still true. Still not 40 yet.
What are you, 39?
38 this year.
Oh, you're basically 40. He's right. Come
I
on.
got time.
How long have you guys, are you and your SO been together for?
You're gonna get me in trouble because he's upstairs watching.
You're welcome.
12 years.
What's your anniversary?
December 25th. No, December 28th. Right after Christmas.
All right. What's his favorite meal?
Oh, that's a hard one. Probably Mongolian beef.
Well, you'll know after the show if there's an argument around. So if there is, I apologize.
Yeah, right.
It's a long time to be together, though. Congratulations.
It is a really killer Mongolian beef recipe he's got, though.
You know, Mongolian beef has to hurt. I love it. I think, we should have conversations about, getting him on to actually make it.
Yeah.
There's never been that recipe on the show, and I think there needs to be.
Oh, it's so good.
So I grew up in Canada. I'm born and raised in Canada, but I'm in the U.S. now. And Mongolian steak is kind of like red pepper steak, or like steak and onions. It's kind of like a staple kind of Chinese dish.
Okay.
So I'm very judgy on Mongolian beef or like Mongolian seasoning. I would love to do a show to do that. I would love to learn how to make it.
So I suppose I should share the proportions that I used there. So I did about 3/4 of a teaspoon of the ancho and the paprika.
Okay.
Then I did about a half teaspoon of everything else. That should be enough here. Probably not too much. Another thing I like to do with my steak is I will drizzle it with olive oil and then kind of rub it in real good.
So does this look okay to you?
Yeah. I mean, it's really up to you how spicy or flavorful you want it to be.
Sure.
There is going to be a lot of other flavors involved, so
I'm going to go to the pan with this now.
Sometimes I probably go overboard on seasoning, but I should clarify. It depends on what I'm cooking. A lot of times, I'm kind of a purist, so I think a good steak really doesn't need much more than salt and pepper.
S&P is good for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna call that good. Use almost all of it.
So now that this is cooking, I'm going to cut my onion, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did I skip that step?
No.
I might have meant to do that already, but that is perfectly fine to do it now.
This is my Kramer by Zwilling. It's a beautiful 10-inch chef's knife.
Nice.
This is very, very sharp. Sharp knives save lives.
Get that heated up a bit. All right, so the onion, you're going to cut it in half, and then you're going to slice it. So very similar to what we just did with the orange.
Okay. So I want long pieces.
it's up to you how thin or thick you want it. You know what you like in terms of onions. All right, so I got my steak in there now, about medium high.
In some cultures, they call me the human food processor, and not just because I'm fat.
All right, you probably already did it with a pepper there. You slice it the same way.
Yes, sir. My steak is done one side, which is quite nice. So how often are you making a meal like this?
Oh man, we eat like this all the time.
Very cool.
All the time. In fact, tomorrow I got some pork tenderloin that I'm gonna be doing on the grill tomorrow, sitting in the fridge.
I could probably make my way there.
4th of July, I made a big old brisket, and the two of us basically just ate that for like a week.
You had me at hello. Brisket is fantastic.
Right. So once the steak's done, we're gonna pull it out and it's gonna rest. And while it's resting, we're gonna cook the vegetables.
Okay.
We're gonna cook them just a little bit, and then we're gonna add the sauce and kind of let that cook off. We're almost there. Almost done.
My steak probably has 6 more minutes, 5 more minutes. Uh-oh, I sensed some trouble. Somebody named Susan is saying, hi, I'm Craig's mom. He has made this dish for me before, and I got food poisoning, and it was awful.
I don't believe it.
Technically, she said that you've made the dish before, and it was so good. I embellished the rest.
Yep. So I've modified it slightly since then. So, like in particular, like we didn't have the mint in the salad when I made it for her before.
I have a question for your mom. Did you teach Craig how to cook? See if she wants that.
Did she answer? Because I can answer that.
Not yet. Hopefully, she's a fan of your drink recipe as well. She's vibing in that.
No, my mom was a very good mom. It was her mission to raise, strong, independent, self-sufficient adults. And
Amen.
I think she succeeded with me and my sister. Wanna? You want a carrot?
I was going to say, so you have a sister. So do I.
Yeah, she actually just lives a few blocks away, which is really nice.
Oh, very cool.
So,
My sister, unfortunately, lives an entire country away. Oh, she said that some things, but the Boy Scouts get most of the credit.
yeah, really, Nate, my other half, gets most of the credit. I really am. I'm more of a grill guy.
Sure.
So if I can cook it outside, it's usually really good. So my steak is pretty big. So sometimes that makes it hard to judge when it's done if you're cooking inside.
Yeah, let's take a temperature. Hang on.
So I just flipped mine, so it should be halfway there.
In the sentence, I got a couple more minutes.
Gonna stir my salad again. Make sure those flavors get in there nice and good. You can go outside.
The other one too. That was adorable.
So before the pandemic, we didn't have this sliding door. We had a door that, like one of the just traditional, like opens in.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know whose idea it was, but like the door would open, so it'd be right here in the middle of the kitchen. Everybody'd have to work around it, walk around it. It was terrible. We put a lot of work into the house over the pandemic.
That looks beautiful. Are you all fenced in the back?
I'm sorry, my steak's really loud. What'd you say?
I said, are you all fenced in the back?
One more time.
Are you all fenced in the back?
Yes. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. It's nice. I've got quite a ways still. So I like my steaks medium rare, which means 135. So usually I try and take it off when it's around between 125 and 130 because it'll rise more while it's resting, you know?
I'm thinking off now. They're about 126.
Cool.
They're going to cook. They're going to continue to cook as they sit. So, and right to the pan, I'm going to add vegetable, right?
Yeah, so leave like the burnt bits and stuff in there.
Yep.
And you're going to brown your onions and your peppers for just like a few minutes.
Okay.
And then you're going to add your sauce and kind of cook off the liquid.
Okay. I think it's interesting we're not deglazing, right?
I'm going to put a little foil over mine just to help it cook a little bit faster.
I just think I think it's great that we're using the juices from the vegetables to deglaze. We're not going to count on like a liquor or like a wine or a white wine or anything like that. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I thought about throwing tequila in there. I think that'd be
It
good.
would taste good.
Yeah. All right, let's do it. Let's throw a little tequila in there. Why not?
I don't know if you want to show your mom the size of that tequila bottle you have. There might be some concerns there.
So she's seen my bar. We had to expand it like 3 times, and we're still out of space.
Fair.
So I didn't measure that. It was like, I don't know, a few glugs. A very specific measuring term there.
When I was young, my grandmother, God rest her soul, she enjoyed drinking a rum and coke.
Yeah.
That was her beverage, and my grandfather would make it for her. And he had his own bar in the basement, as was there, as most of the folks back in the 70s, 80s. He would get on the bar, and he would get the pour, and it had this like structured like 1 ounce pour on the top, so you would tilt it, it would fill it up, and then it would drop an ounce in, and then he would relax it, and then he would fill it back up again with 2 ounces. And when we were kids, we used to watch him do it, and he would like set it down in front of grandma, and she would say, Lloyd, did you put rum in this at all?
Nice. Yeah, I'll be honest. Usually I'm a bourbon drinker. I'd like to do just bourbon neat. That's actually usually my drink of choice. But
Your mom says that she knows already that you drink. You like bourbon?
I do. I really like bourbon.
Would you like to buy it?
Ah, nice. Fancy. I've kind of drank myself through most of my selection, but I used to have all sorts of different kinds.
Yeah.
I think we had 12 different brands of bourbon in this house.
So my vegetables are translucent. Am I adding sauce now?
Yes.
Okay. I'll tell you a quick story about that barbecue too.
Oh man, now I got distracted and overcooked it. Alright, I need to get this guy off here. Alright, so that steak's gonna rest. I overcooked my steak. It's terrible.
That's all right.
Alright for you.
Yeah, because now I get to crap talk you on Twitter all day long.
Alright, so I'm gonna do another drizzle of olive oil here in the pan.
Okay.
You're gonna want to leave all those burned good bits in there because it's gonna add nice flavor to these vegetables. Back on.
So I grew up in Ontario, Canada, and the allotment that Pappy gets into Canada is basically zero, for human consumption.
Yeah.
They have, preferred restaurants and all that kind of fun stuff. So it really was the golden beverage. You just cannot get it. You can go to a restaurant here and there and like drink a shot of it for like $150, but it's impossible to get a bottle of Pappy Van Winkle in Canada. So when I moved to the U.S., my own company, I was talking to the AP director, and she said that she lived in Kentucky, and I just made a joke and said, "Oh, you should give me a bottle of Pappy Van Winkle." She's like, "Well, let me write it down. My daughter is about to marry a gentleman whose family owns a local liquor store."
Yeah.
So, understanding how much the bottle cost, I kind of like, ha ha ha, that's hilarious. And I want to say 2 days later, when she got home, she called me and said, I have your bottle, and next time I'm back in Chicago, I'll give it to you.
Nice.
And I panicked because the bottle isn't cheap.
No,
so
yeah.
I struggle with spending any money at all. So, especially on liquor, for goodness sakes, I drink box wine for God's sakes. So,
Right.
when she was in the office, she came in and she's like, "You'll pay what I pay for it." And I'm like, "Okay." So when I took out $650 because at the time that's what they were going for, and she's like, "It was $80." And I'm like, "No." I'm like, Google how much that bottle's worth. I'm like, I have to pay you what it's worth. And she was offended, so I tried to give her 200, and she was furious. And I tried to give her 100, and she was furious. And she made me pay $80 for that bottle.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's the only time in my life that I'll, other than marrying my wife, was when I win the lottery.
Yeah. I think the most I've ever spent on a bottle was $150.
Yeah, I get it.
I mean, it was a really good bottle. I think it was if I remember correctly, it was like a Knob Creek limited run. It was good.
I've been saving the bottle to drink with my cousin Kevin. He did me a solid back in the old days with a beer that was impossible to get. Well, St. Sixtus or was Letrin, so he helped me acquire that. So I've been hanging on to this bottle now until he and I can actually get together, probably for 6 years. So it's just been sitting in my cupboard taunting me.
Oh man, this smells really good with the tequila added.
Right? I couldn't imagine it was going to smell bad. I think that was a really smart idea.
It smells very good. I'll have to update my recipe.
So I'm going to line up these vegetables, if that's okay.
Yep. All right, let me see where we're at. Make sure we're still on track.
Yeah, they're good. That's good. That's all. So behind the scenes, I've made Mexican rice and I've made refried beans.
There's nothing wrong with that. Although it is kind of I do feel bad that we should have done this yesterday, Taco Tuesday.
I made that joke to somebody today. I don't remember who. And your mother mentioned that you guys did a cocktail panel at a sci-fi convention.
Oh, yeah. So her and her friend used to do it for ages.
Yeah.
And then she found one time she was on her own and she asked me to do it. And we've done it. I don't know. Ask her how many times we've done it. It's like 3 or 4 times now.
That's awesome. So is your mom a sci-fi geek, or are you the sci-fi geek and she supports you, or do you support her?
All right. So I don't know if this is embarrassing for me or for her, but I heard her tell the story first.
Yeah.
But I was actually, according to her, conceived at a sci-fi convention.
No.
When my dad was supposed to be studying for an engineering test.
Oh, he was studying, that's for sure.
Yeah, Icon and Iowa City, Cedar Rapids, they do a convention there. It's, I don't know, I think they've done like 38, 39 years. So it's.
No kidding.
Yeah, yep.
Can I ask a terrible question without any retribution?
Sure.
Were you conceived like on the conference floor or at the hotel that it was being held at?
You'll have to ask her, but I'm pretty sure my dad was supposed to be studying engineering in their hotel room.
Your mother literally just wrote and said truth. That's wonderful.
So here's the real kicker. Supposedly, I just got a jalapeno seed. Supposedly, at one time I heard it was in the bylaws that if you were conceived at one of their conventions, you get in for free lifetime membership. But I tried to ask them, and they said, no, that's not in there.
I think that's just an opportunity to take over the leadership and change the bylaws, personally.
So I am actually, so I said I'm involved with SecDSM here.
Yep.
There is another group that I am also on the board of called the Des Moines Science Fiction and Fantasy Society.
Very cool.
Yeah, so we meet a couple times every month, like formally, but then we do a lot of like informal stuff. Like they do online board gaming. We started that during the pandemic. They do like on Monday nights, they play board games online virtually together.
Okay.
Then there's also a group that does like video gaming online too, all sorts of cool stuff. And then every spring we do a big science fiction convention. And this last year was the 33rd year in a row. In fact, during the pandemic, that first year of the pandemic, we went from canceling because everything shut down to planning an entire online convention in about 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
There's a sweet lady on Twitter. Her name's Jules. Jules does tech. Is her IM. But I'll connect you guys. I think she'd be way into that.
Yeah.
That gaming stuff or the board gaming stuff online.
Yeah. The handle sounds familiar. I actually probably already follow.
She's awesome.
All right, so my vegetables are almost done.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm actually going to slice. I'm going to slice steak now, if that's okay.
Yes, yep, go ahead. So I'm going to move on to my salad here. So I'm just going to I'm going to throw in my mint and my oranges. And the other things I'm going to throw in, so cotija cheese. Cotillo.
That just sounds fake.
I can't remember which one it is.
Coquilla, something or other.
No, I can't remember. I threw away the wrapper already. This is what happens when you drink margaritas. Cotija. So it's really good Mexican cheese. I think it's Mexican. I hope it's Mexican. I just said it's Mexican. But it's really good. It goes really good with Mexican dishes. Should be grated. I don't have grated, so I always have to buy a block, and then I just throw it through my food processor. But you're going to throw, like, I don't know, a handful or so in that salad there. And then the other thing you're going to want to throw in there, too, is peanuts. Preferably unsalted.
Yep.
I've done it with boiled, but roasted is a little better, in my opinion. But especially since you already had it marinating with some salt in there. You know, it's already got salt. You don't need to add more. So I'm just going to stir that up. Mm-hmm. That looks really good. Irene, I dropped a peanut. Yeah, so I don't know if you can see this on the camera or not, but that's what the salad looks like now.
Oh, pretty. Nice and juicy, too.
Yeah, very good. We're also going to need our sour cream very soon. I don't know if you can tell, but we actually have a very small kitchen.
It looks huge.
It looks big. There's a lot of space to, like, as we call, pirouette around each other in here while we're both trying to do stuff. But, yeah, it'd be nice to have a bigger kitchen. Maybe an island or something, you know. All right, I turned off my vegetables. I'm going to slice my steak now. And I'm going to use my fancy, really sharp knife.
Do it. There.
Now you're going to want these to be, like, in my opinion, pretty thin, like kind of as thin as you can, just because, you know, when you're biting into a taco, if you get a big, huge, thick slice of meat, it's going to be harder.
Can you come up and take a look at this and tell me if I'm good?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
So my steak actually doesn't look too bad. It's still pretty juicy. I don't know if you can, probably can't see it because the light's behind me, but where's my camera?
Obviously, your mom didn't teach you how to cook steak. Just saying.
Yeah. The dog is sitting here waiting for me to drop that slice. No, this actually doesn't look too bad. So I thought I overcooked it, but this actually looks really good. When I get into the thick parts of it, this is, yeah, not bad. thick parts here. I have a nice hot pink center. Is that what they say at restaurants when they want to make sure you know what you're talking about?
I think that's what they say. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, I haven't been to a restaurant in literally 8 years. What it
We
feels
only
like.
do patios. We do patios, but that's it.
Yeah. I have a young one. Not too much going out there.
Yeah.
One day.
All right, so I'm not doing hot dog buns. I'm doing tortillas.
Yeah, well, you're a coward, like I said in chat.
I am going to make 2 plates, though, because otherwise I'll be in trouble.
Well, you might actually already be in trouble for the questions that I asked earlier.
I might be. We'll find out. All right, so to assemble these is basically going to be some steak,
Okay.
and then some vegetables. And then we're going to throw a little more cheese on, and then serve it with the salad on the side.
Holy shnikey. I literally just opened up this thing of guacamole, and the plastic just cut my finger. Holy crap.
Guacamole?
I've had worse injuries than a guacamole container, I assure you. Not very many that are as embarrassing, though.
Now, is this the first time on a live TV that you've cut yourself?
You know, that's a good question. I don't know if there's ever been cuts. There's definitely been fire alarms. I'm guilty of that.
Yeah, that happens to the best of us.
Do you follow El Jefe de Security? Raul? He's a Microsoft guy.
Thanks.
Don't hold that against him. He's a great guy.
You know, now that you mention it, I think I know I've seen the handle, but now I don't know that I am.
He was on making street tacos, and I burnt the rice. It was so bad. I tried to be really cool about it because, the fire alarm goes off. At the time, I had an even younger baby.
Yeah.
So we're panicking, trying to get the beeping in the house to stop. But I hit it. I think I hit it well enough that nobody would have known. But I didn't make the mistake of telling Bryson. But I told Bryson, and Bryson, as he should, capitalized on that and let it roll like, oh, Mike, set the house on fire. So then I'm getting fire retardant blankets, and I'm getting, what do you call those things? Fire extinguishers. Then my friend Scott, Rotate 26 Characters, I think is his handle. He's a great guy. He's saying we should do episodes with me walking around you with a with a fire extinguisher, and he's not wrong. That's the worst part.
All right, so I've got 2 plates here. One taco for now, just because plates are small.
Come on.
Yeah, so here we go.
You can have. Oh, I see. Your plate's gorgeous.
Oh, where am I? Here we go.
Looks really good.
Yeah.
Looks really good.
Good job.
Well, the only way you can tell is by the taste, my friend.
I know.
All right. So I'm gonna eat this Guy Fieri style, where I'm gonna be really douchey about it.
All right, here I go. Yeah. That's good.
But okay.
Then a little bit of the salad.
I'll be honest. I was initially skeptical of the vegetables. I haven't done the vegetables back in before.
Uh-huh.
They're absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
The seasoning carried through. I put
It's pretty simple. Like, it's really not that hard. Yeah.
Put a little cilantro on top, a little extra lime.
Mm-hmm.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't often take 2 bites, but you can go to that.
Yeah, and that lime sour cream, that's really just fantastic.
That's phenomenal. That's really, really good.
Yeah.
I will say, I've made street tacos with El Jefe before.
Uh-huh.
He's going to hate me for saying it, but this recipe blows him away. Absolutely blows him away. He's going to come back on Twitter and say, "Oh, it's because you burnt your shit." This is phenomenal. Wow. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for doing the show with me.
Did you finish your drink?
Yeah. I was going to make another one, but then my food got done.
So was your steak that overcooked or not?
What, say that again?
Was your steak that overcooked, or did it come
Actually,
out?
it wasn't. So when I stuck the thermometer in, I think I just stuck it into a thinner part.
Fair.
So it was actually pretty perfect. Here, I can. I'll show you. I don't know if you can see that very well.
Oh yeah, it's gorgeous. Look at that. It's beautiful.
Jesus, it's so hard to work these freaking cameras.
Yeah, left is right and right is left.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's perfect. Yep. Yeah. Cool. So that's it, right? How do we end this thing?
I don't actually, technically, because this is so effing good, I actually don't really want it to end. But what I will say is, unfortunately, yeah, I guess we have to. But I don't need Bryson joining this one and yelling at me again, because he's good at that. Thank you for watching. As I said, Unicorn Chef. If you're cooking with us, if you want to smack talk us, if you want to make adjustments, if you want to give us your opinions, by all means, just participate on Twitter or any of the other social medias with the hashtag Unicorn Chef. I will say Twitter is the most consistent place where you'll get reaction from a bunch of us. I always say support your local animal shelter, SPCA. Support your dogs. They love you. You need to love them back. Kelly, I love you. Gone. Craig, unbelievable recipe. Seriously. I mean, phenomenal. What do you got to say, my friend?
Down for doing it again anytime.
Mongolian beef sounds amazing, to be truthful, and I think your mom should come back with more drinks because she was relatively quiet. But no, come back with us next time when we cook something even more dynamic with somebody less dynamic than an awesome cook like Craig. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.